What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, got a little bit of time, so one thing about having like a at least a hour drive between work and home is you have time to knock out these like late night streams. So I'm gonna talk. Uh, where should I go? I should say Keith Thurman for last, and then I'm gonna talk about Wilder Fury, and I may talk about some other stuff in between. Talk about some other upcoming fights. Talk about Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. So, so I'm just like, as far as Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury go, all right. I'm not really getting up for that fight. Not really. I'm not really tripping off that fight, really. I mean, I hope Anthony Joshua wins, but I don't think he is, because I'm just looking at his style, and I just think that Tyson Fury is going to pick him apart and probably stop him. If he got beat up by Ruiz in the first fight, I don't know. Now, Joshua got the power to like possibly stop Tyson Fury if he could land something meaningful, but Tyson Fury has been shown to be durable, that he can get up. So, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Tyson Fury, he just showed he a coward, and that's all it come down to. To me, he just made himself he just looking real guilty. And at the end of the day, I'm not worried about people hollering about, well, I don't want to see a third fight because Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder twice. No, he didn't. It should be 1-1, because actually Deontay Wilder knocked out Tyson Fury. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. He just don't want to fight him, and he willing to get stripped of the belt. They basically then said they don't care what the lawyers think. They don't care about none of that stuff. So, and from what I heard, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua is going to make possibly $100 million a piece. Now, where this $100 million a piece is going to come from is beyond me. They saying they got a location. They saying all this stuff. So, is this going to be, I guess, on pay-per-view out there? I guess it's going to be on pay-per-view in the UK. And I guess it'll be on ESPN or something out here. I don't know how they gonna work that out, like who gonna get like broadcasting rights. So at the end of the day, the zone ain't got that much money. Stop it, bro. That's not gonna be on. It's not gonna probably be on the zone. Because if that's the case, if the zone got so much money, why did they have all these budget cuts? Why did they say they wasn't going to be paying people these elaborate salaries anymore? So they ain't got that kind of bread like they was. It sounded good when Eddie Hearn was talking like that, but they ain't got the bread they was pretending to have, because if that's the case, they wouldn't care. And we all know it's a pandemic and everything, but stop it. And they kind of said that before the pandemic hit, that they wasn't going to be paying these elaborate salaries anymore. Because one, they haven't been able to get the top boxers that they was looking for. I guess off and on Canelo, they got AJ. So we'll see, but I'm not really would be man enough to honor his contract with Deontay Wilder and to say, oh, well, I don't like what Deontay Wilder said about me. That should give you more incentive to fight him. But at the end of the day, okay, you just don't want it. So to me, you just look like you're guilty of what Wilder said you did. I'm not worried about nobody else. saying you not guilty or whatever. I believe it. And it's about what I believe. I believe that Tyson Fury cheated. Like I said, for people to act like they don't know where this is coming from, and for people to say we're being unfair to Tyson Fury when he didn't got caught cheating multiple times, and he tied to Irish gangsters and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where people is getting this notion that we just picking on Tyson Fury. You know, where there's smoke, it's a lot of fire with Tyson Fury. So I mean, it is what it is. All right, so with that being said, let's move on. All right, so Sergey Kovalov got popped for, I guess, you know, artificial and testosterone or whatever, artificial testosterone. I have no idea what that is, but obviously it's a banned substance, so it's considered a dirty test. He had a fight coming up, so they haven't indicated on whether they're going to pull the plug on that fight, but more than likely they probably will. You know, so this doesn't surprise me about Sergey Kovalov. This is one of the many things that follow Sergey Kovalov. See, this is what tripped me out. Now, I don't see nobody like making videos talking about how Sergey Kovalov got popped. But I just will never forget. I will never forget 6 years ago, or going into 6 years ago. When, I mean, just like, wow. When Floyd defeated Manny Pacquiao and the IV story came out, and everybody and their mama, I'm talking about, had something to say about Floyd Mayweather and the IV. And they just made sure that they tried to insinuate and put doubt in people's mind that Floyd was legit when he fought Manny Pacquiao, and then come to find out that the Manny Pacquiao camp had been told about what Floyd did. I mean, good grief. I mean, everybody and their mama accused Floyd of something. But then Canelo gets popped, not that big of a deal. Canelo got caught not once but twice. Okay? Sergey Kovalov has been officially popped. But there is no outrage. Nobody calling Sergey Kovalov a cheater. Nobody called Canelo a cheater. But they still say Canelo is the best fighter on the planet, arguably. But then everybody couldn't wait to run Floyd's name through the dirt. And that's why I don't pay attention to a lot of these media people, because we all know what time it is. And then, not to mention, it's funny, everybody loved to make videos, and they was coming on my channel calling Floyd a woman beater and all that kind of stuff. Well, what about Sergey Kovalov busting a woman's nose and beating her dog up and kicking the dog? Once again, where was those videos at? Oh, I know, because Sergey Kovalov isn't black. And then you get these clowns that had the audacity to say, hey man, would you mind not making this about race? Don't make this about race. Man, he broke the woman's nose. It don't matter what he did to her. He damaged the lady. But I didn't see none of these self-righteous content creators making videos calling Sergey Kovalov a woman beater. And this lady took Sergey Kovalov to court, and then the man refused to pay her. So at the end of the day, we know what time it is with this boxer shit. We already know it's race oriented. And that's cool. But I wish people would tell the truth. It's so funny. You got people that's always hollering about the LDBC only support black fighters. And I can tell you that ain't true. Not all of them are the ones that say they LDBC. Because like I said, I don't fuck with all them dudes that say they LDBC. Because if that's the case, why do some of them have the vitriol and the venom that they have for Crawford? And I'm gonna get to Crawford in a minute, and I'm gonna get to Bob Aaron in a minute, because I got a lot to say about Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman coming out of nowhere talking out the side of his you know, Keith Thurman is really irrelevant right now, but he talking like he been on a win streak where he didn't broke off 4 victories in a row. And I don't know who Keith Thurman is talking to, but at the end of the day, Keith Thurman is his own worst enemy. He was offered a fight with Bud, he turned it down, he lost. Now he got the, now we got to wait his turn. You lost to Manny Pacquiao. You haven't fought in 2 years, but you sitting up talking about you should get $10 million. So, I mean, come on, man. Come on, Keith. What have you done to sit up there and come out the gate and say that you should get $10 million? But then you saying Bob is cheap. I mean, you just like, bro, you lost your last fight. Hey, bro, check this out, bro. Don't come on here with that bullshit. Keith Thurman asked for $10 million, dude. Don't come on here with that Errol Spence nut hugging shit. I will get rid of your ass with the quickness. Or have somebody clap your ass. This ain't the Errol Spence nut hugging channel. If you coming on here with that PBC nut hugging, Al Heyman nut hugging, this is an objective, unbiased boxing channel. You can kick rocks. Try me. So, don't bring that over here. Keith Thurman, listen, bub. Keith Thurman said months ago he wanted $10 million. He did say that. You a fucking lie. He did say $10 million. Okay? He did ask for $10 million. And then he ain't finna get paid more than Bud, and you lost to Manny Pacquiao? You don't have no belt. You lost your last fight. You didn't fought 3 times within the last 5 years. Stop it, dude. Stop it. I know this boxing shit. Don't come on here trying to challenge me. Don't come on here trying to show me up. He did say that. You got the wrong one, buddy. Like I said, Keith Thurman, ain't nobody even heard from that dude. And that's all these dudes do is talk via internet. That's all they do is get on their social media and talk shit via internet, but then they don't be talking about making no fights. They all do this shit. They all do this shit. Like I said, dude, where do you get off asking for $10 million? If Bob Arum ain't gonna give Manny $20 million, you damn sure ain't finna get $10 million. Keith Thurman said, like, let me see. What did Keith Thurman say? Oh, I don't want to fight Bud. He hasn't done nothing at 147. Now all of a sudden that you didn't slipped into being irrelevant and everybody else making a buzz. Now all of a sudden here you come. And the only reason why he talking like that is because he worried that Sean Porter is gonna get the fight. That's the only reason why you didn't popped up, because you worried about Sean Porter getting the assignment. But then you saying all this stuff about about Bob Arum. Okay, well, if Bob Arum ain't gonna pay you, then why you asking for a fight? You is on video saying that they offered you a fight, and you said no. So like I said, at the end of the day, you stayed put for a minute. When they was asking you to fight Errol Spence, you was saying Errol Spence got to do more. So now, like I said, you lost. So now you irrelevant now. Nobody ain't checking for you. You lost to a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao. And that's just the bottom line. You lost to a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Once again, you lost to a 40-year-old Pacquiao. Ugas ain't no big puncher. Ugas ain't no big puncher. Errol Spence will beat him. Errol Spence is gonna beat Ugas. Because one, Ugas has periods in fights where he doesn't throw enough punches and he's inactive. That's why he ended up losing the fight against Sean Porter, because he just went periods where he wouldn't do nothing. Now, like I said, I thought he did enough to win the Sean Porter fight, but at the end of the day, he let the fight slip through his hands. And Ugas is not a big puncher. Yeah, he got boxing skills, but he's not a big puncher. And that's the type of guys Errol Spence like to fight. That's the type of dude Errol Spence like to fight. Now, Ugas can move a little bit, but at the end of the day, Errol Spence is a stalker. Because basically the plan is to get, if Manny Pacquiao gets stripped of the super title, because Ugas is the regular champion, which by the way, Ugas shouldn't even have got a title shot. It's questionable about him getting a title shot, but then again, Al Heyman talked him out of taking the title shot a while back. So basically what they want to do is, if Manny Pacquiao is stripped of the WBA super title, Ugas is elevated to the super champion. So then he fights Errol Spence. If Errol Spence wins, then Errol Spence got 3 belts. And then he gonna use that as leverage to, you know what I'm saying? He gonna use that as leverage to try to continue to lowball Terence Crawford. He gonna use that as leverage to say, oh, well, I got 3 belts, so I'm the cash cow and all that kind of stuff. So he gonna use that as leverage to try to lowball Bud and try to get Bud to take that bullshit ass 30% that he gonna try to offer him. That's his whole plan. Okay, let me ask you this. Why did Errol Spence give Mikey Garcia 50%? Why did he win 50-50 with Mikey Garcia, who didn't have no belt? What belt did Mikey Garcia have? What belt did Danny Garcia have to where he gave Danny Garcia $5 million and he took 8? So what belt did Danny Garcia have? But you trying to give Bud, and Bud is an undefeated champion. Danny Garcia had 2 losses going into that fight. So how do you explain that? Who is Bud lost to? And then Mikey, and that was Mikey's first fight at welterweight, first official fight at welterweight. And he didn't have no belt. But then Errol Spence was the one that said, and people don't like to bring this up, Errol Spence was the one that said that he tried to unify. Okay, so how was you trying to unify with Mikey Garcia when Mikey Garcia didn't have no belt? Once again. See, nobody wants to answer that question. You told Bud to his face that you was going to take the easy route. So that's all that's going to happen. He going to... Well, I'm going to tell you now that fight ain't going to happen. Because Derrick James is hinting that that fight ain't going to happen. Because what? Yeah, he got the regular. I know he got the regular belt. I said that shit. I said Manny Pacquiao was the super champion. Nah, it ain't gonna happen because Derrick James went on another media outlet and said that that Bud don't have no storyline. This came out of Derrick James' mouth. He said Bud ain't got no storyline. He said that it's better to fight somebody that... Now, this came from Derrick James. He told that to somebody, you know, he went on another media outlet and said, well, people would rather see these racial fights between blacks and Mexicans. Derrick James was hitting out of his own mouth, black versus black fighters don't sell. This came out of Derrick James' mouth. He said Bud don't bring nothing to the table. That don't make no kind of sense. This came out of Derrick James' mouth. That was really disappointing to hear that he said something like that. Bud don't got a storyline according to him. But this is what they be doing over there on the opposite side of the street. They really ain't about making blacks versus blacks. Now they saying by default Tank may have to fight Gary Russell Jr., which is a fight that people want to see, but they about making them black and brown fights because they figure that sells. Or they put these black dudes in a ring with with some of these less skillful Hispanic fighters that they feel like they can beat. That's what Al's plan is for Errol Spence. Al's plan. That's his plan. He want to make Errol Spence the next Floyd Mayweather. But Errol Spence don't got the drawing power, and he don't got the it factor that Floyd have. He don't talk like Floyd Mayweather. And like I said, I think Errol Spence is a cool dude, but at the end of the day, man, they not trying to make that fight. Derrick James said 3 years ago that Errol Spence wasn't ready for Bud. So why is people getting mad? Why is people getting mad at me because I'm telling what came out of Derrick James' mouth? He the one that said that. He said it ain't no storyline. He said Bud don't bring nothing to the table. That don't make no kind of sense. And this is what I mean by a lot of these trainers and these promoters be trying to play off that black shit, and they be fake as fuck. See, this is what certain people don't want to tell you. This is what certain content creators don't want to tell you. Because like I said, the people that fuck with Bud, they know what's going on. And they getting frustrated. But that's what they trying to do. They trying to get Errol Spence that third belt so he could use that as leverage. So basically he could try to lowball Bud. But then they talking about Bob Arum is trying to lowball Sean Porter. He trying to lowball Keith Thurman. But then they trying to lowball Bud. See, here's the difference between Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. Sean Porter has 2 losses. Kenny, that's my homeboy, but I'm real with this shit. Sean Porter got 2 losses. Okay? Danny Garcia got 2 losses. Keith Thurman got a loss to Manny Pacquiao. I need somebody to tell me where am I lying. So how does Bud don't bring nothing to the table when he considered by many the pound for pound #1 fighter on the planet? Hey, if you think it's somebody else, that's cool. And then Ugas has 2 losses. So once again, Bud versus Errol Spence has a lot of value to it because it would be 2 undefeated fighters fighting. But once again, you don't want to pay the other undefeated fighter. Man, whatever. He got whatever. He got losses. It don't matter whether he got 2 or 3. He's been beaten. And Danny Garcia should have like 4 losses. Because he lost to Herrera. And he definitely, and I thought he lost to Peterson. So once again, I'm still trying to figure out how Danny Garcia get paid more money than Bud. And then Danny Garcia got losses. Danny Garcia really ain't did nothing at 147. That's fact. That's fact. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. But this is what they doing. And then I keep saying this once again, if Al Heyman got all the bread and everybody making so much money, then like I said, why don't you send Bud a contract and you handle the promotional side. You outbid Bob Arum, which it appears Bob Arum gonna let you outbid him, and you get full promotional rights. And then Bud fights under the PBC banner. It's not that hard. It really ain't. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. So I don't understand how you got a dude that's undefeated, but y'all don't want to pay that dude no money. But you talking about Bob Arum is lowballing y'all, but y'all don't want to pay the dude, an undefeated dude who was undisputed at a lower weight class. That got extreme high value. A dude that's a former undisputed champion at 140. But like I said, you got these dudes that be sitting up here playing these games. But at the end of the day, they don't want, like I said, I want to fight. I want to fight. But it appears to me that the people on the opposite side of the street don't want to fight. And my question is, how much do Errol Spence think he posed to get versus Canelo? And you got people talking about why is Errol Spence being held to the same being held to different standards versus everybody else? What the fuck is some of these dudes talking about? You said that you was going for undisputed. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Canelo's name came up. But actually, you've been hitting Canelo for the past couple of years anyway. So like I said, that came out of Derek James' fucking mouth. But none of these niggas will get on their channel and push their record button and talk about how Derek James said that shit. They already done told Sean. I can't tell Kenny and Bud. I can't tell Kenny and Bud what deal to take. But what they said was that Sean need to get at them. Now, this came from Bob Arum, you know, now how much truth it is to it. You know how Bob Arum, 1 minute he lying, 1 minute he telling the truth. He said that he's willing to go back to the table with Sean Porter and Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter is the manager. He said that they could work something out. He's saying that he could guarantee Sean a certain amount of upfront money. Then he could guarantee him whatever the pay-per-view do. And then probably some of the live gate. Because this fight is going on paper. Sean Porter versus Bud is going on pay-per-view. I'm telling y'all that right now. But I would pay for that fight. But then again, I'm going to be at that fight. So, keep your fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. You know? Keep your fingers crossed. Bob Arum did say that Bud was negotiating with both Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. So we'll see. I'd rather Bud fight Porter, because if he takes the Keith Thurman fight and then he mollywops Keith Thurman, then what's gonna happen is you gonna have the Errol Spence apologists. They gonna try to devalue the victory. They gonna say, "Oh, well, he was a Manny Pacquiao. He was a Manny Pacquiao leftover. Oh, Manny Pacquiao did all the work." So, nah, do not take Keith Thurman. Make Keith Thurman go fight a tune-up fight, win that fight, and look good winning that fight, and then we can talk about you fighting Bud. Because this is what they need to do. Now, Bob Arum seems to have bowed out of negotiating on behalf of Bud. Now, it appears that Todd DeBuff, Bob Arum's stepson, another dude that is supposed to be putting together this fight. You know, it appears that Bob has stepped down. And like I said, I'm going to tell you right now, it's people that's worried. Like I said, a lot of these dudes, they really don't want Bud versus Errol Spence. I want it, but they try to act like they do. But for some reason, these dudes are scared. They really don't want that fight. And I'm going to keep saying that. A lot of these dudes was hoping that, that Bud got beat by Kell Brook. They was really hoping Bud lost to Kell Brook. What kind of shit is that? And this is what I'm saying. These dudes, they really don't want the fight. And they keep saying, "Oh, Al Heyman shouldn't have to foot the bill because," but that don't make any kind of sense. How all of a sudden you say, "Well, PBC got all the bread. They do this, they do that." Okay, well, like I said, if you're trying to get Bud to come to the PBC, like I said, you supposed to entice him. You supposed to say, "Bud, we gonna have you fight under the PBC banner. So we gonna pay you this amount. We gonna pay Sean that amount. We gonna promote it. We gonna promote it right. You know, it's gonna come on either Fox or it's gonna come on Showtime. More than likely, Bud versus Sean Porter, probably, if PBC decides to, you know what I'm saying, foot the bill for this fight, it's gonna probably be on Fox. So I'm just saying, that don't make no sense. If I'm trying to sign Bud, I'm footing the bill for this fight. Especially if he considered by many one of the best fighters on the planet. But like I said, he posed a threat to their master plan. You know what I'm saying? They pose a threat. And Ugas ain't no big puncher. Errol Spence is gonna probably walk through Ugas because he gonna have a strength advantage. He gonna have a strength advantage. Real talk. But he probably gonna walk through Ugas. Cause Ugas ain't got no power. Okay, so he got 3 losses. There you go. But whether he got 2 losses, whether he got 3, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You don't want to pay the other undefeated fighter. You talked about 70 set you talked about 70-30, and he need to take what we offer him. So like I said, you ain't trying to make the fight. I thought you down for the cause. After all, you called out Gucci, you turned down, DJ Vlad Rally. I thought you all about, the cause. I thought you all about brothers making money. But I guess you only want to pay Mexicans and Puerto Ricans more than you do your so-called black brother. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said Ugas gave that fight away. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? Had to take a little commercial break, but I'm back. But at the end of the day, y'all have a right to know the truth, though. PBC ain't trying to give y'all that fight. Oh, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Tank versus Ryan Garcia ain't bigger than Bud versus Errol Spence. Leonard Ellaby is a fucking lie. And you can send this video to Leonard Ellaby. Tell him Town Biz Sports and Entertainment said he a fucking lie. Ryan Garcia ain't fought nobody. Ryan Garcia ain't fought nobody. So how the fuck is Ryan Garcia versus Tank bigger than Bud versus Spence? Spence and Bud are established fighters. Luke Campbell don't make you automatically the biggest fight in boxing. It'll be a good fight. Bud versus Spence is the biggest fight in boxing. Hands down. Hands down. And boy, I'm going to tell you right now before I end this stream. This really is starting to remind me of that movie, The Great White Hype, with Samuel L. Jackson. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson was telling the truth. Maybe this was predicted when he said people was tired of paying good money to see niggas beat up on niggas. Tank versus Ryan Garcia ain't even remotely the biggest fight in boxing. You know why? Because most people already know what's going to happen. Ryan Garcia is going to get knocked out. He's going to get knocked out if he fights Tank. Oscar knows it. Floyd knows it. Leonard Ellaby knows it. Now, Leonard Ellaby is a good promoter alongside Floyd. They're going to promote the fight. They're going to build it up. They're going to get you hyped up for it. And by the 5th round, Ryan Garcia is going to be laying on his back. Knocked out cold. Like I said, it sound good, but I already know what's going to happen. I predicted the outcome of the Leo Santa Cruz fight. You knew it was going to happen when it was first slated to happen this last May. When people asked me what did I think of the fight, I said the Tank is going to brutally knock out Leo Santa Cruz. And he did. It wasn't if, it was when. I had Tank stopping Leo Santa Cruz probably in like 8 rounds, but he got him out of there in 6. But Tank versus no Ryan Garcia is bigger than Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. That's a damn lot. And the funny part about it is people from all walks of life want to see that fight. Mexicans want to see that fight. White people want to see that fight. Black people definitely want to see that fight. Everybody wants to see that fight. So that's why I'm slowly losing respect for a lot of people on the so-called opposite side of the street. Because one, they playing the black community, and they playing other people too, as well. How can you sit up there and even remotely say some shit like that? That you know what I'm saying? That's not you know that Ryan Garcia and Tank is the biggest fight of 2021. What, another black versus Mexican fight? And we all know that more than likely that particular Mexican gonna get. Ryan Garcia ain't impressive at all to me, and I'm gonna just put that out there. He hasn't impressed me. Shit, if Luke Campbell would have stepped on the gas, he could have stopped Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia was really hurt, and Luke Campbell didn't know how to close the show. But I guarantee you Tank know how to close the show. For real. I'm just saying. This gotta be said. You can send this video. What? Tell Leonard Ellaby to go to the. Tell him to go to the. Tell Leonard Ellaby to watch this video and tell him to go to. Tell him to go to the 40-second mark of this video. Leonard Ellaby, you a fucking lie. Tank versus Ryan Garcia is not the biggest fight in boxing. Shit, Manny Pacquiao versus Conor McGregor is gonna be bigger than that. And it's amazing that Conor McGregor, who's 0-1 as a boxer, is getting these big paydays, but at the end of the day, he got value. But then again, he got the right skin color, and he talk a lot of shit. But I would like to see that sideshow, that circus, because I already know what's gonna happen. Manny Pacquiao is gonna wreck Conor McGregor, and they gonna tell Manny to do the same thing. Manny could knock Conor McGregor out in 1 round. But they gonna tell Manny Pacquiao to carry Conor McGregor for at least 5 or 6 rounds before they tell Manny to put his lights out. And that's just gonna happen. First of all, Ryan Garcia, and this is showing you what type of dude Ryan Garcia is. Is there anybody that's listening to this video that think Ryan Garcia can beat Manny Pacquiao? Because if you do, I will bet you I will bet you the deed to my house. I will bet you my car. I will bet you everything I own that Ryan Garcia gets the living shit beat out of him by Manny Pacquiao. That fight ain't going 3 rounds. Nobody in their right mind believed that Ryan Garcia got a chance against Manny Pacquiao. Nobody believes Ryan Garcia. I'm taking bets right now. I'm taking bets right now if anybody think Ryan Garcia is gonna beat Manny Pacquiao. When I say Ryan Garcia will not ever want to fight again because he gonna take a savage beating. But Manny Pacquiao might be nice to him. He might knock his ass out in 2 rounds. Because I think if Manny Pacquiao punish him for like 12 rounds, he ain't never going to be the same. So what he might do is just knock Ryan Garcia the fuck out. And then, so he can recover. But he won't be the same if he fight Manny Pacquiao. When I say Manny Pacquiao is going to make Ryan Garcia probably be on the verge of suicide the way he would get his ass beat. I mean, Ryan Garcia might be suicidal after that. He might be on suicide watch because he gonna take a savage beating. It ain't even go be fair. So Ryan Garcia need to stop it. That kid couldn't beat Manny Pacquiao. If Manny Pacquiao signed in a contract that he would only fight with one hand, he still wouldn't beat Manny Pacquiao. If the man can't handle Luke Campbell, if he barely can handle Luke Campbell, what in the hell make you think he could do anything with Manny Pacquiao? So please stop it. Don't insult yourself by saying stupid shit. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. That kid would never be the same after the ass whooping he would take from Manny Pacquiao. Hey, Pratt, I don't even want to see Manny do that to Ryan Garcia. He would ruin that kid. He would ruin that poor kid. We'd be wondering, I'm serious, Ryan Garcia would probably be on suicide watch. I mean, he could have ended the fight. So that's what I'm saying. Luke Campbell is not a murderous puncher. Well, Tank is. Tank is. It don't matter whether Leo Santa Cruz had some success. How did the fight end? Who needed smelling sauce? Who was I mean, who got knocked damn near under the ring? I mean, he got knocked damn near out of the ring. His head was under, I mean, for real. And like I said, I feel bad for Leo because Leo is a good dude, though. He's a good dude, man. But I felt bad for him because you hate seeing that happen to people like that because Leo is a good dude, man. Ryan Garcia is just some. I don't even think Ryan Garcia is really committed to boxing. I think this is just something he want to do for the short term. I think he want to box a little bit, you know. But Ryan Garcia strike me as a dude that he looking at doing movies and TV and all that type of shit. Well, that's how Oscar rolled, though. Oscar is a clout chaser too. Because Oscar already then hinted that Ryan Garcia ain't ready for Tank. And most people in the boxing realm know what's gonna happen to Ryan Garcia. Adam Lopez was saying that, man, Ryan ain't ready for that. He's not ready. I don't even think Ryan gonna be ready by September. We all see everybody knows what's gonna happen to Ryan. He gonna get knocked out. He gonna get knocked out. And it's not gonna be pretty. I promise you that. But before that, I'm hearing that they may try to make Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. And I think that's a good fight. You know, because Tank, for some reason, act like he got a problem with fighting Gary Russell Jr. Like, he act like he kind of like hesitant to take that fight. And I think that's a good battle of the DMV. Oh, well, I know Ryan Garcia I know Ryan Garcia. I'm not impressed with Ryan Garcia. I went on record and said that. I keep telling you, Pratt, he's the second coming of Amir Khan. And it could be worse. And the thing is, he don't even have the footwork Amir Khan had. Amir Khan had nice footwork. Ryan Garcia is flat-footed. Don't move his head. Like, I think people fall in love with this fast hand shit. You could have the fastest hands in the world, but if you can't get out of the way of a punch, then that ain't gonna help you. Well, Amir Khan had extremely fast hands. Well, what happened when you would land something meaningful on him? Exactly. Because at the end of the day, you got to be honest. Amir Khan had no business getting knocked out by somebody like Danny Garcia. He had no business getting knocked out in the first round by Prescott. Okay, Canelo, I understand that. Bud, I understand. But he quit against Bud because he knew he was going to eventually be knocked out. So, I'm just saying. And he almost got knocked out by Maidana. So, what do you expect? And he had fast hands, like I said, like it's anybody's business. You could have the fastest hands in the world, but if you ain't got no chin, so what? That's exactly all he got. He ain't got no chin. He's flat-footed. He come forward. Like, it's just that you already know what's going to happen to him. I've been saying this. He's going to be brutally knocked out. If it ain't by Tank, it's going to be by somebody else. And it's going to be one of them. It's going to be, let me tell you how bad it's going to be. He going to get knocked out like how Simon Brown got knocked out. Now, I don't know if he going to get knocked out so bad where he's swinging, knocked out in the, that was crazy. That was crazy. Ryan Garcia going to get knocked out like how Julian Jackson knocked out Norris. Terrible Terry Norris. That's how bad it's going to be where Ryan Garcia going to get slumped. He going to get slumped. That's going to be one of them knockouts. Everybody going to come on this stream and be like, damn. I promise you it's going to happen. You see it coming. You see it coming. Yeah, you right. Yeah, Davis. It's going to be one of them. Damn. You're going to be like Chris Tucker. He going to get slumped. When I say he going to get slumped, he going to get slumped. I already envision it. It's going to be like it's going to be like how Terry Norris got knocked out by Julian Jackson. It might be how Leo Santa Cruz got folded by Tank. Or it might be like how Canelo folded Amir Khan. But it's going to be one of them bad knockouts. Or it could be like how Mike McCallum did Donald Curry. But Ryan going to get slumped. I promise you. He gonna get slumped. It could be like Manny Pacquiao, Ricky Hatton. And it's gonna be with a punch that, man. Or it could be like Sergio Martinez and Paul Williams. I really thought that Sergio Martinez killed Paul Williams. And Paul Williams was my dude, man. I straight thought Sergio Martinez killed Paul Williams, and Paul Williams was my dude. But damn, he walked into that punch. Put his gloves down, leaned with his face out, and kapow. And it was a thunderous punch too. I mean, you heard that punch too. I remember watching that on HBO. I was like, and I couldn't do nothing but give it up to Sergio Martinez. That was a beautiful punch. I wasn't mad at Sergio Martinez. He won that fight fair and square. He landed a good shot on Paul Williams. I was rooting for Paul Williams, but you got to give it up because Sergio Martinez was always a cool dude. And by the way, Sergio Martinez is back to fighting. I keep telling you that him and Oscar, they need to make that fight. Sergio Martinez is 45. Oscar is 47. They need to make that damn fight. And that fight could sell. I think Ryan is one of them dudes, he's set in his ways. I think he ain't gonna understand till he gets slumped. But it's gonna happen. All right, y'all. Thanks for tapping in.